vibration. Show the world what you got to give. Time to raise.
Hey everyone, how are you? How are you? I got the happy birthday behind me here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, thank you. Welcome. We are going live here. I'm going to start recording. Welcome to the Raise Your Vibration Friday morning. Every Friday morning we do this, and we all come together as a community to help raise our vibration together and really make a difference in this world with everything going on right now. We really want to just come together, raise our vibration, and change the vibe of the world and really make a difference. So, got some amazing guests tonight. We've got, welcome Cliff. We've got Richard Rogers coming on. He's phenomenal. He's been around for, I first started going to Unity of Phoenix 25 years ago, and Richard is the one who really inspired me to make a difference. And he's been inspiring the community of people here in Phoenix and around the world to just change who they are and really find themselves. So excited to have Richard. We've got Luke and Claire who are going to be performing music today. And then we have Kyna Rosen, who's amazing gong and crystal bowl healer, musician. And she's going to be ending it up with meditation here for us. So really excited that we're all here. Thank you for being here. And we are going to start it with music. I think we have Luke and Claire here, right? Luke and Claire, are you there? Luke and Claire.
Hello, everyone.
Can we see you?
Move over there.
Okay.
And move up
There we are. All right. Welcome.
Getting situated here.
Cool.
All right. Well, one way to raise your vibration is.
I just want to hold on. I just want to have everybody mute so that we can hear him really well.
Yes, please.
And I notice there's a few people that are not muted.
The music
Fantastic.
sounds better when you do that.
Yes,
thank
I
you.
will meet people up.
Awesome.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. This is
Not a
Gwendolyn.
problem.
This is my hostess, Gwendolyn. Sorry for not introducing you, Gwen.
Hostess with the mostest.
Hostess with the mostest. It's been a crazy morning. So welcome, Gwen. I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
One great way to raise your vibration is intimacy. I'm not just talking about a lover, but, you know, to really receive another person, to really listen to another person, to really be able to talk from your heart to another person, whatever the subject happens to be. And that is the subject of this song. It's called Talk to Me.
What is this?
And Howard, we might need you to mute everybody because
I'm doing
as
that
they
right
come
now.
on, they didn't hear the request.
Thank you.
So I'm going to mute all, but you're going to have to turn your.
We'll unmute, right?
Okay.
Mute all.
Yep.
There we go. Okay.
Talk to me. I wanna talk to you. Words cannot describe what I wanna say. I'm so alone.
I am so alone.
And I know that you are the same way. So talk to me. How do you really feel? Are you still afraid to love someone? Are you all alone? Thinking that your love is gone? Or are you ready to love a brand new day? You're thinking that love has hurt you before. Hurt before. And loving can only hurt you more. Hurt you more. What would it take to prove you wrong? Loneliness is a star story song to sing. 'Cause when we laugh, I tell you when we smile, we know we don't ever need to be afraid. We know that we're always free, to open up and really be shining with love for everyone to see. Waiting for love to come your way. Come your way. Now we can worry, how long will it stay? Will it stay? What would it take to change your mind? Come with me and see what we find this time. 'Cause when we laugh, I tell you when we smile, we know we don't ever need to be afraid. We know that we're always free, to open up and really be shining with love for everyone to see. So talk to me, I wanna talk to you. Come on and talk to me, I wanna talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you. That was so great. And we're looking forward to more songs in a little bit. Can you hear me?
Of course, we have a song called Raise Your Vibration, which we're saving for later.
Excellent. We'll look forward to hearing you a little more later. That'll be great. So thank you. And next we have an amazing man, like I said, Reverend Richard Rogers. I'm going to read a little bit about him. He's been around quite a while in the community here. And can we all hear me? Am I here? Am I live?
I can hear.
Okay, we can hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So Richard's a gifted and inspired teacher, coach, and minister. Over the last 25 years, he's been a spiritual teacher and leader to thousands of individuals. He's worked and studied with the great spiritual teachers of our time. As a speaker, he's powerful, dynamic, and I just lost it. Sorry.
That's perfect. That was more than enough.
Okay, all right.
That was fabulous, Howard. Thank you. And again, I just want to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for sharing your birthday with all of us.
Yes, thank you all for being.
I'm really honored to be here with you today.
Thank you, and honored to have you. Thank you.
Well, it's my joy. So I have been a minister and a spiritual teacher and a life coach for over 25 years. I currently I do the Wednesday night service at Unity of Phoenix, and I just began doing the Sunday service up at Unity of Prescott. So if anybody's traveling over the summertime and up in Prescott, I'd love for you to stop by and see us on Sunday morning. So I get the opportunity to talk to you about activating your higher self. And I love this topic because for so many of us, we're really looking at what is, especially during this time of this pandemic, what is the spiritual work I can be doing right now? Because most of us know that freaking out is not really doing our spiritual work, right? And so if we're spending a whole lot of time in freak out mode, we're really missing the opportunity to do some deeper inner work. And so that's really what I want to talk to you about. And so the place where I want to begin today is talking to you about how you see yourself. Because for most of us, there's really one of two ways, maybe three ways that we see ourselves. The first way that many people see themselves is that they are profoundly broken. And many of us grew up in a world where we were shown that in one way or another that we were profoundly broken. And we live from that mindset that we're just trying to compensate for the fact that we are profoundly broken and we're trying to do good we're trying to be in relationships, we're trying to create work and finances and health and all this stuff. But it's at a deep level, the underlying belief is that we are profoundly broken. And so that comes across over and over again. It impacts all of our situations. It impacts every moment of every day when our underlying belief is that we are profoundly broken. The next way that people see themselves is that they are almost there. And with this idea is that, you know, we have this underlying belief that we are 3/4 of the way, or we're 7/8. I heard a speaker one time say that humanity was 7/8 of the way to enlightenment. I'm not sure how we decided that we were 7/8 of the way to enlightenment, but he was pretty clear that we were 7/8 of the way to enlightenment. And this idea is that I'm not quite there, I'm almost there, and that I can get myself there. If I take the next class or the next workshop, or if I do all the right meditations, then I'm going to kind of finish myself, I'm going to complete myself, and then I'll finally get to enlightenment. And it's this idea that when we were created not quite right, but that our ego then steps in and says, but I can finish the job. And so this is the constant process of that I've just got one little area that's missing or not fixed or not right, and that I can just move myself into a sense of completion or wholeness. And so then we work to kind of get ourselves spiritual enough. And the third way, in the way that I'm advocating today, is that we are whole and complete and lacking in nothing. Is that we were spiritually whole and complete from the moment we were created, from the moment we were spiritually created, and that we have bought into this story, this illusion that we're broken, that there's something wrong with us. And so this way of being then is really about awakening and activating, not about fixing or changing. So the underlying premise that I'm going to talk about today is really, how do I see myself as whole and complete and lacking in nothing, and just activating my higher self, or my fullness, or my sacred center. So the idea is that we are in the process then of transforming our understanding to unleash all that we are. And this is a much easier process, because if you know that you're fully baked, right? If you know that you were done from the moment you came in, this whole process is so much easier, because we're not believing that we're profoundly broken. We're not even believing that we're partially undone. We're actually just moving into the mindset that I'm whole and complete and lacking in nothing. And so for me, then it leads us to the path of transformation. And the path of transformation is what Buddha called the path of awakening. It is awakening to our true self. It's awakening to our divine self. It's awakening to all that we are within us. And so for us to live the path of faith, or the path of transformation, there are two things that are necessary. First is that it can be done, and that it can be done so that whatever desire you have in your life, whatever that desire is, there has to believe that you can have a better life, because nobody makes any changes in their life till they believe that it's possible. And that the second part, not only do you have to believe that it's possible, but you have to believe that it's possible for you. And so that's the question that I want us all to kind of dwell on. You know, do you believe that living your best self, living your best life, raising your vibration is actually possible? Can we do that? And the second question is, can you do it? It might be possible for others, but is it possible for you? And I think for most of us on this call today, our answer is absolutely. We believe that raising our vibration, creating a greater life, living a life of joy, peace, power, abundance is not only possible, but it's possible for me. And once we get into that mindset that it's possible for me, that we can actually live that, then it really takes us to what I think are really 5 steps into activating our higher self. And the first step that I want to talk about, and if you have a question, just put it in the chat room and I'll get to it, because I'd really love to take some questions, if not during my talk, at least after my talk today. The first one that I want to get to today is the idea of acceptance. And that for many of us, acceptance is a difficult road for us to get our arms around, because many of us were taught that we accept the good in our life and we resist the bad. And so we're in this kind of place where we're trying to accept all the good in our life while we work really hard to resist the bad. And the reality is that your life really can't move forward. You can't move into higher dimensions of you. You can't activate more of who you are until you accept exactly where you are. If you want to go from here to New York, that is 100% possible. But if you think you're starting in Florida, that really changes the whole mindset. It's a very different process. So you actually have to believe and accept what is in your life. And so as you think about any place that you might have resistance in your life, see, we can't transform what we're not willing to accept. So if you have a stack of bills in your life, or if you're just broken up in a painful relationship, or if you have a healing need, I want you to really look at what it would take to get your arms around and accept that as your current reality. Because what happens for many of us is that our mind begins to tell us that the reality that we're living is not the reality that we should be living. It shouldn't be this way. And the moment we think that thought, it shouldn't be this way, at that moment, it actually removes us from reality. It separates us from the possibilities. And so I want you to think about whether it's you or maybe a situation, financial, health, anywhere in your life where you think to yourself, it shouldn't be this way. Because the reality is that it's a very different situation to believe it shouldn't be this way, or it could be different. When we believe it could be different, it opens a path of possibilities. When we believe it shouldn't be the way it is, at that moment, it moves us into a place of stop. The other thing mental place that we get into often is the idea that this isn't right or this is wrong. So the moment we say an aspect of our life isn't right, this is wrong, it automatically cuts us off from creative energy. And the third one is that they can't do this to me. That any time that we're in resistance to any part of our life, we are actually in resistance to ourselves. We're in resistance to divine energy. We're in resistance to being blessed. So, everybody's heard the idea, whatever we resist tends to persist. And so the first step in this process of moving into our higher self is acceptance. Acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. Accepting everything in your life exactly the way it is right now. Accept it for what it is, accept it as it is, and then that takes us to number two. And number two in this process is when we really open to receive everything. Because the moment we receive, we let our guard down, we open our arms, our heart, our mind, our soul to receive the energy in every situation. That whatever it is, there is energy in every situation. And the moment we begin to receive that energy, then transformation is possible. And one of the things I often teach is, if you think about a 2020 Ferrari and you think about a 1973 Pinto station wagon, which has more spiritual energy? Like if you had to pick between a 73 Pinto wagon, maybe some nice brown shag carpet on the inside, and maybe an 8-track tape player in the dash, or a 2020 red Ferrari, which takes more spiritual energy to create? And I'm going to suggest that they both take exactly the same amount of spiritual energy. That energy is energy. Only our beliefs make it so. And the moment we begin to receive any situation and bring it into ourselves, then we are open to allowing every moment, every situation to bless us, to really be an instrument for greater good. So the first step is to accept. The second step then is to receive. Then it takes us to the third step, the third aspect of really activating your higher self. that when we're really committed to activating our higher self, that every situation in our life, as we accept it, as we receive the energy, the blessing that's in it, then every situation at that moment, we can then give it to God. And literally, the way that we transform any spiritual energy, the way that it's purified, is that whatever we give to God, whatever we give to that higher vibration, is instantly purified. That God is the only thing in the universe that can never be polluted. No matter what painful, dark, ugly situation you give to God, it is instantly purifies and comes back to us as grace. So when we think about any situation in our life, when we accept it, we receive it, and then we begin the process of transformation by actually giving it to God. And the moment we give any condition, any situation, no matter what it is, the moment we give it to God, then everything in our life becomes fluid and becomes that we can transform anything to a higher level of good. And that takes us to 4. And 4 really is about having a higher vision for our life. And this is where we get to use our imagination to actually imagine a world or a life that's greater than we're living right now. So as and the energy of the pain of the past, the frustration of the past, the disappointment of the past, as we give all that to God, that energy, as it's purified and comes back into our life as grace, instantly then is funneled into our higher vision. And that our higher vision is the thing that begins to move us forward in greater and greater ways. So as we give it to God, as we have a higher vision for our life, and what I want to suggest today is that in your higher vision, I want it to be one step greater than what you currently believe. And I want it to be greater than you think may be possible, because I want it to stretch you beyond the life that you know right now. So if you were going to create the next phase of your life, what would that thing be that would move you forward in greater and greater ways? And then the 5th step, 4 was higher vision. The 5th step is when we know that our life can only be transformed through me. That we become the link for the transformation of our life. That as we pray, as we focus, as we meditate, it's simply through me. Thy will be done through me. And then as we open the space, that all change, all transformation has to happen, not from outside of me. Like there's no, knight in a white horse going to ride in and save me. The transformation actually happens through me. That I become the transformative tool that moves my life forward. As I begin to entertain these higher visions of what's possible and download this divine energy in greater and greater ways, it happens through me, and I actually become the catalyst of a greater life, that I become a life that really is transformative from the inside out, because I become greater as I go through this process. So again, accept, and then receive all the energy that was in that situation that you were in resistance to. Give all that energy to God, create a higher vision for your life. And one of the easiest ways to do that is really in your time of meditation is to ask yourself, what is the greatest life that I can imagine? What is the greatest experience that I can believe in? And take one step further. And then the prayer becomes, and change me. Transform me, change any part of me that is in fear, any part of me that's in doubt, any part of me that's in lack, so that I can live this that I can be a greater instrument of the possibilities in my life. Okay, I want to open this up to questions. Is there any questions that anybody has that I can answer, or any points you want to discuss further?
So if anyone has any questions, they can unmute themselves. And we can do it that way too.
Chat. Yeah.
Or they can do the chat as well.
Yeah, either way. What's easier?
Either one. I would say actually the voice unmuting themselves would be great.
Right. Any questions?
Sure. How about asking oneself what the steps are to accommodate that higher vision, other than the 5 steps you listed, but in your personal life? Could a person say, today these are the steps I will take to achieve, to actually reach that vibration?
Absolutely. And one of the things that's I think is so interesting about this process is as we really listen to our own inner wisdom, our inner guidance, we tend to want to overdo in this process. And what happens in my life is when I really have a goal or a desire or something that I'm working toward, and I'm releasing the old energy and really asking to be an instrument for a greater possibility, it's usually just one or two things that I need to be about that day. And then sometimes when our ego steps in, we have a to-do list of 30 things. And the reality is that's just not the way it works. For most of us, when we ask to be guided and directed to be an instrument of a greater life experience, it's really one thing or two things that we're called to do that day. And as we do those things, that is our act of faith. That is us putting that into practice and living a greater possibility.
Excellent. Thanks, Richard. Any other questions out there? Take a couple more.
I had a question.
Great.
Yeah, I wanted to know, how did you come about getting to the position that you're in now, where you feel the height of your vibration? Does that question make sense?
Oh yeah. Right. It was a process, right, of awakening every day and moving beyond a belief in brokenness. For most of us, it's really easy to believe that we're broken. And the idea of moving to the mindset that I'm whole and complete and lacking in nothing really changes the complete game. Because at some level, if you believe that you're broken, every disappointment in your life makes sense. Because with every disappointment, every discouraging thing that ever happens to you, then you say, see, this is just more evidence that I am broken. But moving from the mindset that I'm whole and complete and lacking in nothing, that I'm created it, what I would say, in the image and likeness of God, really is a game changer. And so then you begin to play, just a continuously a bigger life, because you're not limited by your own belief in brokenness. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. May I ask, what was your biggest aha moment where it all just came together?
Probably that one. Probably that realization that all the work that I was doing trying to fix myself really came from this underlying belief that I was broken. And if I didn't have that underlying belief that I was broken, then everything in my life gets profoundly easier. Everything in my life gets profoundly more fun, because I'm not living from a belief that creates everything in a more difficult way. If you really believe that you're whole and complete, lacking in nothing, then everything in life becomes fun, it becomes easier, it becomes just enjoyable. If you believe that you're broken, then every day you have to overcome your brokenness. Every day you have to drag your woundedness through another day. And so it just becomes more and more exhausting. So as we live from our wholeness, as we really integrate our wholeness as our dominant understanding, as our dominant belief, then everything gets easier, because we're not getting in our own way over and over again. And, I do a lot of coaching, and one of the things that happened, like in 2008, 7 and 8, there were a lot of really successful people that, whose lives kind of crashed when the market crashed. And one of the things that I really worked with them on was seeing that what was going on in them wasn't created out of their own brokenness, that they could actually transform the way they saw that situation by actually transforming the way they see themselves. And that literally is a game changer. When you change your core identity, when you see the way you are at a core level differently, everything in your life gets just so much easier.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other questions?
We'll take one more question and then move forward here.
Thank you. Anybody else got a question? Jump in.
I'll ask one.
Sure.
So when you say one of your steps is to give it to God, when you're coaching people, what would you suggest are ways of gauging whether people are really giving it to God or whether there's still a level of ego attachment?
So when I have let something go, there's a profound level of peace. But until I really let it go, I'm not at peace. But the moment I let something go, there's a sense of peace. And so, whether some of my coaching clients don't have a belief in God at all. And so it's whether you say giving it to the universe or writing it down and do a little burning bowl exercise or even writing it down and flushing it or however we let it go. But the moment we let go of anything, our level of peace goes up dramatically. That there's just a higher level of peace. And so that's for me is really the sign in my own life and in my coaching clients' life, that if there's peace, we have let it go.
And for those who, let's say you've worked with that, you can still sense that there's tension and gripping. How would you nudge them in the direction of letting them be in a place where they can actually let go and find that peace? Because I find so many of the people that I work with have such a controlling factor over everything. And when they say, okay, I'm just going to give it to God, or I'm going to let it go and let it be, it is what it is. But then you can still see the tension within there, that there's still a level of expectancy of something's going to happen in their favor at some point.
Okay, Howard, can I have one more minute to answer this?
Yes, one more minute. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, great. All right, so here's the deal, right? Most of us have an intellectual understanding of the universe of God, but we don't fully believe it. We don't really believe that there's a power greater than ourselves or a power at work in our life. We don't really believe it. So when we let go, and we don't really let go because we stay in that ego realm. So part of the work I do with coaching clients is just come into the belief that the universe, spirit, life, whatever they call it, is actually for their good. And if you can get them to that belief, then letting go or giving something into that becomes so much easier. But if you don't really believe that there's an energy, that there's a power, that there's a life force that is working for you, it's literally impossible to turn something over to it, because it's just your ego turning it over to your ego.
That's great. Thank you. That's perfect.
You bet. Thanks for asking the question, guys.
All right, Richard, thank you again for being here. I know you're a busy man and taking the time out to be here and help us all raise our vibration. Thank you.
You bet.
And if you want to give out your information in the chat, how they can reach you, your website, or for coaching or.
Great, I'll do that right now. And it's real easy. All right. Thank you guys for letting me be on today.
Okay.
And thank you for doing this call on your birthday, Howard. I know it was a step, and so I hope everyone enjoys it. And a big happy birthday to you, Howard.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it.
All right. God bless you all. Have a great week.
Bless you. All right. Thank you. And now we've got some awesome music with Luke and Claire. If you guys want to unmute yourself or come on out here and play a couple cool. They actually wrote the theme song for Raise Your Vibration. So you two out there?
Yes, Howard messaged me one day and he said, write a song called Raise Your Vibration. I went, uh-oh, but here it is. We did it. Don't be confused, don't be ashamed. We are all here practicing the creation game. Chart out your course, get happy in between. Happy for no reason is the key to everything. You wouldn't be here if you weren't supposed to be. You wouldn't be here if you didn't belong. You got something no one else on earth has got.
So keep dancing, we're here to sing along. Raise your vibration. Show the world what you've got to give. Raise your vibration. You can choose the life you want to live. Open your heart, open that door. We're here to make a difference no one's ever made before. No limitation, don't believe in lack. We're all in this together and we're not turning back. You wouldn't be here if you weren't supposed to be. You wouldn't be here if you didn't belong. You got something no one else on earth has got. So keep dancing, we're here to sing along. It's time to raise your vibration. You give the world what you've got to give. Raise your vibration. You can choose the life you want to live. Don't push the river, it flows on its own. Just decide, get on the ride. You bought your ticket home. Go beyond the speed of light, claim your destiny. Fill it up with love and fly in perfect harmony. You wouldn't be here if you weren't supposed to be. You wouldn't be here if you didn't belong.
We could ask to make their song our theme song for
no one else on earth has got. So keep dancing, we're here to sing along. We're gonna raise your vibration. Show the world what you got to give. Raise your vibration. You can choose the life you want to live. Raise your vibration. Show the world what you got to give. Raise your vibration. You can choose the life you want to live. You can choose.
All right, love that song. It's so catchy. Yay. So,
you have time for one more?
yeah, let's do one more song and then we're going to go into a little meditation with Kyna Rosen and finish this all up. So please, let's do one more.
Yeah.
Because we're saving one for the end.
Yeah, if you have time at the end, we'll keep one for last, but for now we'll do Let's Give to
Do we
People.
have one later?
Let's just do one right now. And then we're
pretend
going
this is the last one then.
All
to,
right.
okay, great.
Because we want to do this one last.
Okay. So do you,
Let's give to people, make it easy on each other, and the world will keep on turning on its own. Let's have it now, we're not alone, and together is the way that we'll go on. We'll go on and on. Every person, knowing we're here for certain. Everybody is the answer. Everybody holds the key for you and me. Oh, let's give to people, make it easy on each other, and the world will keep on turning on its we're not alone. And together is the way that we'll go on. We'll go on and on. Cherish our life together, knowing we're here forever. Now's the time to make it happen. Now's the time to really care. If you dare, oh, let's give to people, make it easy on each other, and the world will keep on turning on its own. Let's have it now. We're not alone. And together is the way that we'll go on. We'll go on and on, on and on and on, on and on and on and on, on and on and on and on, on and on and on. Show thy precious every moment. Everything is you and me. Let's give to people, make it easy on each other, and the world will keep on turning on its own. Let's have it now. We're not alone. And together is the way that we'll go on. We'll go on and on. Sing it. On and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. On and on and on. Let's give to people. On and on and on. On and on and on. It's everybody. On and on and on. It's you and me. On and on and on and on. 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 On and on and on and on and on.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That was so amazing. Woohoo. Oh, well, we'll have you back at the end for one more song. So why not? That'll be fun. One more song, and let's bring Kyna Rosen out. Kyna, you there?
I am. Thank you, Howard, for inviting me. Really excited to be able to share this with all of you. Can you hear me okay? Is the volume okay on this?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Sound awesome. So I'm going to mute myself out, and we're going to do you're going to do a crystal bowl meditation for us. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
So I want to encourage all of you, if you'd like to go ahead and lay down and just relax, take it all in. I will be moving around the room, playing the different instruments that I have in my space. I do have some ocean waves in the background. Always love to do the ocean waves to just help calm down the nervous system, wash away anything that happened during the week, and just have a really nice set point to bring in the weekend. So I want all of you to just take a couple of nice, deep breaths in. And then exhale. Another nice deep breath in. And exhale. And just think about what you want to bring into this meditation today. What do you want to create for your life for this weekend as we go through Passover and Easter, and it's all about new beginnings? What do you want to create for yourself? So go ahead and close your eyes, and I'm going to play some instruments for you. Okay. Everyone, come back. If you can come back into a seated position so we can all go ahead and close out this session with a few ohms. So feel free, if you would like, to unmute yourself so we can all do 3 rounds of ohms together. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to share this beautiful practice with you. Have an amazing weekend. Namaste.
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 Thank you, Kyna. That was amazing and relaxing. I appreciate you being here. If you wanted to also put in the chat your information to share with everyone, your website and all, so they know how to get a hold of you, that would be great. All right, so I'm going to mute everyone. And hi, Carissa. Oh, okay. I'm going to bring back Luke and Claire to play some music for us.
All right. This song is called Home. No matter where you're going or where you're coming from, you've entered this world, a daughter or son. You might be surprised by what you've become. And no matter your belief, the truth is only one. A place to rest your bones at the end of the day. A feeling in your body when the music plays. Yeah, yeah. Have you ever looked around at all of the sin? Many people feel uncomfortable in their own skin, always searching for a place where they can fit in. Stop going without, start looking within. This is not a building or your neighborhood ties. I'm talking about the feeling when I look in your eyes. Home, the place your heart and mind rest for. The place your scars heal best at home. Nothing inside that you lack. You never have to watch your back at home. Your open arms to show me. Your open heart to hold me. You're giving me new eyes to see. Whole new world to walk free. Yeah. Nothing new under the sun, but that knot inside your belly needs to be undone. I will stand by your side, no I will not run. Be with you in the hard times and all of the fun. You're the only one that makes sense of it all. When I silence all the noise, I hear you calling me home. The place your heart and mind rest at. The place your scars heal best at home. Nothing inside that you lack. You never have to watch your back at home. Your open arms to show me. Your open heart to hold me. You're giving me new eyes to see. Whole new world to walk free home. You're my home.
good. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks for
Enjoyed this.
listening.
Yeah. great
Thanks, Luke
audience.
and Claire.
Yeah, did you two want to put your or tell where people can see you around Phoenix
Well,
area?
in the chat, we're just going to put down our email address for now. And if you're interested in anything else we're doing, just email us. Okay.
All right. Thank you. It was excellent. All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here. I'm going to pull out Gwen. Gwen, you there?
I am. Hi.
Hi. Do you have anything you want to say to anyone out there? Or?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here today. We had some amazing guests, and I think eventually you'll have everybody up on the website. So if you want to check out what they can do, where they're at, their links, that'll be on the website eventually, correct?
Correct. So the website should be done this week, and it's raiseyourvibrationevent.com. So that will be up. I'll post it on Facebook, and I'll send an email out when that goes live. So, and that's going to have all the recordings from the last week and this week, as well as all the information for the speakers and musicians, and just getting everyone's information out there for the world. So
yeah, because I know that if you've heard something that you liked or that something resonated with you, you can check out all the speakers and all the musicians. I know people have recordings for sale. I know that people are doing events, and that would be awesome. So just been a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, we're going to be doing this every week, every Friday at 11 a.m. And next week we're going to have some Sue Fredericks, who's actually written 8 books. She's a psychic and travels worldwide, internationally, and teaches. And she'll be on the call here. We're going to have Colby Jeffers, who's a really cool hip hop musician. He's very inspirational and motivational, and his words just are phenomenal. So he'll be here. And then we're going to have Dominic Harkin's going to be here next week doing a meditation at the end for us. So it'll be great, a little exercise. So make sure you're here next Friday at 11 a.m., everyone. And thanks for being here today. We appreciate you joining us and raising our vibration together. So have a great week.
And happy birthday, Howard.
Thank you.
Birthday, Howard.
Thanks, Gwen. Thanks, everyone.
Good day, Howard. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye
y'all.
to you. Happy birthday, dear Howard.
Howard.
Happy birthday
to
to
you.
Thank you. Thank you all. I love you all. Thank you. Have a great week.
Yeah, good job doing this.
Good job.
Thank you. All right. Bye, y'all.
Raise your vibration. Show the world what you got to give.